What's up YouTube, it's TF Collector, and today I'll be reviewing the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe class, the 13 Alchemist Prime. And I know I lied, I said Long Haul would be the next review, but my Walmart shockingly had this guy in stock, and I'm super excited to go ahead and get this review out. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at his package. On the front, you can see he transforms in 17 steps. You have a picture of him in robot and alt mode. Transformers Age of the Primes, the 13 Alchemist Prime, Hasbro there. On this side, you have some robots going on till all R1, Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe class. On this side, another picture of Alchemist Prime, Transformers Age of the Primes, the 13. On the back, you have his name again, some pictures of the figure there, his accessory that we'll talk more about later, 17 steps, barcode Hasbro on the bottom, nothing on the top, the 13 Alchemist Prime, and Takara Tomy. And one more thing before we take a look at the figure itself, he does of course include his instruction manual, the 13 Alchemist Prime, picture of him there, Transformers Age of the Primes, and on the back you just have all your steps, on the bottom Takara and Hasbro. And moving to the figure itself, here is Alchemist Prime in his alt mode, which appears to be a truck that is Cybertronian. We, of course, have never really seen him transform, but coming in close on what we get here in alt mode, you can see some nice details all throughout the hood and the front section. A little bit of black going on there with your little grille there. Some silver for some headlights, I suppose. Your nice Cybertronian looking wheels coming down the side. Some more silver paint there and a little bit of this goldish green color, sort of. You have nice translucent plastic there for the windshield. On the back, you do kind of have his hand sticking out, which kind of sucks, but it's not super obvious that it's hands, so it doesn't completely bother me. Up top, that is your view, and on the bottom, you can kind of see how things are going to work out. He can, of course, roll as he should, and overall, for what it is as a character that has never really transformed, I think this is a pretty cool alt mode. And as far as accessories go, he does of course include the lenses, the next Cybertronian relic that we get with these figures. And coming in closer, you can see done in a translucent blue, and you do have the Alchemist Prime logo right there, looking pretty awesome. Now, these can break apart. You just break them apart like that, or they tab together like so into two blades or guns. We'll see more how that works in robot mode, but they can store here in alt mode. You can see they do have 5mm ports right there, or posts rather, for the 5mm ports. And you can just plug those right on top here, and you can bring in your other one, plug it on top there, and you can have Alchemist Prime blasting as he rolls away. And for some rapid fire alt mode comparisons with all the other primes we have thus far, here he is with Solus Prime, so you can see how they look together, the two deluxes we have so far. Here he is with Prima Prime, the only Voyager that I have so far, so you can see how they look together. Here he is with the Fallen Megatronus Prime, so you can see how those two look together. This is still my personal favorite Prime, but you can see both of them looking pretty awesome here. And last but not least, we have a big old boy. Here he is with Titan class Optimus Prime, of course, so you can just kind of get a sense of how these guys look together. And there you go. And that is about all I have to say about Alchemist Prime's alt mode. I think for what it is pretty cool, but I do personally prefer the robot mode, of course. So let's go ahead and transform him. So the first thing we're going to do is come right here to these pieces, and they will split right down the middle. You can kind of see the seam of where they're going to split. Just split these pieces, bring them all the way out to the side like that, and that's how you want that situated. Now, what I like to do is come in here and untab the arms and start wiggling these arm pieces out like so. I think what the instructions tell you to do is go ahead and untab this piece, but as you can see, it has these two pieces that go under these two panels, and I do kind of think you're going to break these off if you don't get those arms out of the way first. But now you can use your double hinge to hinge this piece forward, and those two tabs will go into those two slots. So just bring it down, tab that in, and there you have that. And then you can just get the arms up and out of the way, and we'll go ahead and finish the legs. You can go ahead and bring his feet down, split the legs, and then these pieces will just fold inward like so. Do the same thing on the other side. Fold that inward, and there you have his legs all done, and then just rotate 180 at the waist so all of that is lined up. Now what you want to do is come to these pieces and bring them inward, so that will reveal that little area there for that tab to go into. So just tab that right in, do the same thing here. Make sure you bring that in first so you can tab that in. Then bring the arms down like so, and if they haven't done it already, pull his fists out. Just bring the arm down, pull the fist out, it will thoop into place. And the last thing to do is open this front panel, get your thumb in here and flip out his head, close that up, and there you go. There is Alchemist Prime in his robot mode. And after what is a very simple but also very satisfying transformation, I am really happy with the way this robot mode turned out. But coming in close on the details, you can see the head sculpt looks beautiful with the green and the goldish green used there. Blue for the eyes with his nice goggles and mustache and goatee look going on there. Silver on the face. Coming down the chest, more of that gold green coloring with some green, more of that color. Some silver, some more of it there. Silver used for the thighs, which is actually pretty cool. Wish they could have got these pieces silver, but I can see why they didn't. Some silver on the kneecap there, and some more of that goldish coloring. Green all the way down, some silver on the arms. Nice molded detailing all throughout, but they did actually pick most of it out in paint. You can see the sides, the back cleans up perfectly. Nothing really there to see. Overall, I think this guy has turned out very nicely here in robot mode. And as far as articulation goes, the head is on a ball joint, so you can get a little bit of wiggling and waggling. He can look up slightly, down a little more, because it is also on that hinge from transformation, so you can get him to look down a little more. The head can do a full 360 if you kind of work things around. You can kind of get a full 360 out of that. Just be careful not to break anything. The arms can do full 360s, can move in and out. You do have bicep rotation. You have 90 degrees there at the elbow. Due to transformation, the wrist can move inward. You do have waist rotation. Yay, the legs can kick forward that far, back that far, outward, full split. You can get a thigh rotation there. Knee joint, about 90 degrees, and as far as the feet go, they can move down due to transformation. You do get a nice ankle tilt, but they cannot rotate or move up. But still, overall, I think, especially for a deluxe class price point, you get really nice articulation with this figure. And if we bring in the lenses, we do have multiple options for these. He can hold them via these posts. You can plug them into his hands there. You can tab them onto his arms right here into this slot or this slot with these 5mm pieces. You can just plug those in there. He can also hold them there like a gun if you want them to. You can store one of them back here. I think there is a little place here that can kind of sort of hold it, but it's not going to be very secure. You can see there is a little spot there, but you're not really going to get any nice solid storage. You can kind of, sometimes I can get it to stay in there, but I don't think that's meant for that. There really is no storage on the back, but what I like to personally do to take advantage of them, of course, being the lenses, is tab them together like so, and then you can bring your Alchemist in and rotate him at the bicep joint. Unfortunately, no wrist rotation to work for this little piece of posing, but you can plug them into his hands like so, and kind of get him in a nice little pose, and you can totally have him looking through his lenses. And for some quick robot mode comparisons, here is Alchemist Prime with Deluxe class Solus Prime, so you can see how they look together. Here he is with Voyager class Prima Prime, so you can see how those two look together. Start to move up a little here. Here he is with Leader class Megatronus the Fallen, so you can see how those look together. That is just such a cool figure. But getting him out of the way, and last but certainly not least, here he is with Titan class Star Optimus Prime. Whoop. There he is. So beautiful. And psych, I lied. Here he is with one last comparison being a CG render of what they based this figure off of. And I think they did a great job creating a figure for a character that we've never really had a definitive design and certainly not a definitive figure for. I am very happy with the way Alchemist Prime has turned out. So this has been my review for the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class, the 13 Alchemist Prime. And overall, I am super happy with the way this figure has turned out. He's nothing super difficult, definitely not a difficult transformation. Very straightforward and simple, but the robot mode looks very cool. I love the head sculpt. The vehicle mode is also very compact and clean and looks really good. Sure, it is basically just a truck from space, but I like the way it turned out, and they have free reign because this guy has never really had an alt mode. The lenses as his relic that he comes with are pretty cool. I think they're looking really good, and I like the way he can hold them. Do wish he had the wrist rotation though, so you could get a little more posing out of the lenses. But overall, as I've said, very straightforward figure, but also very good figure. Super happy with the way he turned out. This is what I like to see from Deluxe Class figures. Good robot modes, good alt modes, good articulations, and straightforward but fun to do transformations. So overall, this guy is the complete package, and I am super happy with his turnout. So if I had to rate Alchemist Prime, I am going to give him a 8.5 out of 10. I'm very happy with the way this guy turned out. Would certainly recommend him to anyone looking to get a figure, even if you're trying to get a figure for a younger age person, maybe like 6 or 7 and up. I think they'd really enjoy this figure. But those are my thoughts on Alchemist Prime. He gets an 8.5 out of 10, and I certainly recommend him to any collector or anyone looking for a new figure for their collection. So that's all I have to say. Of course, never sacrifice the things you love for the approval of others. I will be back next with Long Haul, actually this time jumping back to our journey through the studio series. So I will see you soon with that review, and until then, roll out. Peace!